Right, everyone. So today is day 17, September 17, and I have been just doing some exploration on how we can try to figure out how to find some variables that we declare inside of the script. So let's say, for example, we have our player JD here, and we would want to have some of the variables easily change while we're in the inspector here on this right side. And just to familiarize ourselves with the scene view here, we can see that this is like the scene view in Unity. And you will see I'm clicking on the mouse scroll button for me to be able to move left and right, up and down. And I can also zoom in, zoom out by the use of the mouse scroll button. And if I'm going to use the left mouse or right mouse button, we have an option to add node here and instantiate a scene here. So we'll talk more about these options here later on. And then on the left mouse button will be the one that we use to select a player node, or let's say here the different nodes that we have inside of our scene. And you don't get confused right now. I'm moving up and down using the control key to move around the interface. And if I'm not holding on the control key, I can move around in a way that I am able to, let's see here. Yep, it's fixed that if you're holding the control key, you would see you're just going to move up and down. And when we are not holding the control key, we can zoom in and zoom out. But if we're moving the control key, we can just move up and down and we're not zooming in or zooming out. And now let me just go and copy one of this first. Just want to go get this. I think this is ground and duplicate that, Control D. And then let's move that up here so that we'll have a way to jump. And then duplicate again so that we'll have a way to jump from. Let's just test this out. I just want to explore a little bit. And let's go to the game view and move up or move forward. I'm using the D key right now and the letter A also for us to be able to move. And I'm just going to try to move up and jump. All right, so we are now able to move to this area. So let's add another ground 7 perhaps. Duplicate that, then move that around here and zoom in. So we'll have some sort of endpoint. And if I go move that again, let's just try that out. Moving up. And we want to move towards that scene and jump. And of course, we want to also jump on the final scene here. Okay. And now I just want to talk about how we can go and work on the script that we have here. And let's say, for example, this is speed. I don't want it to be kept as a constant variable. We know that constant in other programming languages means it cannot be redeclared. So that means if I want to reinitialize this speed, assign the value of 200.0, for example, you will see unexpected identifier in class body. It's saying in line 4, 1, unexpected identifier in class body, which is the speed option here, right? Now, what we have here is a fixed value or a fixed variable that will not be changed dynamically, or let's say we cannot change this anymore if we're using the const keyword. In other programming language like JavaScript, that's just something to be aware of. And however, if we do have this, let's say I'll be using a var speed, for example. I'm not sure if this is going to work. So let's see. We are trying to redeclare. Let's see. That's odd. So unexpected identifier. So hmm, Or that's perhaps because we are using, let me just, okay, let me just pause that. And right now let's say, I'm going to say speed. Unexpected identifier. Ah, alright. So I think we have to change this also. Speed, and I'm just going to say speed. Where else are those being used? And we're not able to reinitialize it. Hmm. So that's something to take note of with the GD script. However, if I try to play this, will there be an error? So I think unexpected identifier and for one. Okay. So we're not able to redeclare it. What if we try to just go and save it this week? Let's choose that. Okay, so we have var, we have speed here, and I think this will still work. Okay, so the movement is still working, and let's see what happened there. Go up here. Okay, so I'm wondering why that is not getting redeclared or the value is not getting reinitialized. So is that not allowed to speed? Assign the value of 2, for example, for unexpected identifier in class body. Okay, so at least we know that that's not going to be possible. I'll try to explore further how that's. What if I go and bring this down here in the order? Are we going to run into an error? And then we reinitialize it. Speed, assign the value of 2. I'm just testing things out. Okay, so that's really not going to work with JavaScript. And one thing that I just want to showcase here is that we can actually try to go and play around with the value of the speed right now here, and we will not keep it at 300.0 float value. So instead, I would want it to be found, or we want to have it serialized. In Unity, we can actually do that by adding serialize field, right? Serialize field. So that this will be shown in the inspector. And I think that's something that I would want to have as a, and one of the things that I learned about Godot is that we can also do that. Now we have that value on the inspector so that we can go and change the value of 300 depending on how we want to test out the speed of our player. So let's say I'm moving right now at the speed of 300, and if I go and change this to 100 and go back to the game scene, I would say that this is the game scene, right? So what would happen? Let me just, so I've changed that to 100, and let's see how fast that will now be. And so that's 100. Not that much different. But what if we say this is going to be 5? How fast is our player going to be playing? Still fast. That's odd. So that means, what if we don't initialize this with a value? And now we're running into an error. Okay. At expression with variable without type or initial since type cannot be inferred. Okay, so let's try to have a value of 0. Let's just test that out and see what would happen. Sorry for that. And now we can see that this is the 0 value of our player. And if we go back to our player and add some value here, let's say 5. Let's go back to our scene. And no, it is moving, but very, very slow. But if we want to increase it, let's have at least 50 or 20. Let's just see. And now we can see that the player is moving at a speed of 20. Okay. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to show you guys how we can try to play around with serialized field in the JavaScript language, or at least one of the options on how to do this. There might be some other ways on how to do this. So if you have some comments and suggestions, you can just go and put it into our comment section of the lesson. Okay. So thank you and see you on our next video.